Hey everyone! Welcome to my Thursday edition for Color the Kitty. It's me, Lauren. I'm here to do some colored pencils fun, and of course, classic to my usual setup. I didn't even pull up my materials yet, so I'm just doing that now. Let's grab out my sharpeners. There they are. Okay, so let's have a little fun here. Where's my tabs? Okay. So here's what looks like a pretty blank page. I've got a whole bunch of colors here. Just gonna pull them out of the bundle. And you can kind of see a hint of something here. So when I pull this down, this is what I'm working on. So when I bring this up in close, they're all numbered shapes throughout this whole sheet. And here's my progress from earlier this week. So I'm just going to do a little more of it tonight as I move a couple more things out of the way, because this is a pretty big piece of paper. So then here's my color code. So I'll explain my colors. I've got my white as my blender. I have for one this purple Crayola Orchid color. For number two, I have for Black Widow, the Zephyr Blue color. For my number three is the Staedtler's Triangular Peacock kind of pencils, this kind of indigo color. My number four is from Pentel, number 345 Blue. My number five is Rosart Peacock Green. Six is Pentel number 367 for a moderate green. And then for 7 is my Pentel 370 for like a light kind of lime green kind of look. And then for 8 is Pentel again. You can tell there's a lot of Pentels right now. Is number 307 for this yellow. And actually my Pentels are still a complete set of, I think, 10 colors or something. Go figure. And then we got for Rosart Orange. And then Pentel again for the red, 304. And lastly, we got Rosart. Can't even read it, but it's a tan color. So all in all, the brands are presented. Oh, my white is actually the Staedtler Peacock. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got like 5 brands here happening. So I've got all my colors over here set aside for what I need. And then I'm just going to turn this sideways so at least we both can see what we're doing here. So on here, spot number 2 is showing to do next to kind of complete the top here. And number 2 is the Zephyr Blue from Black Widow, which is a really nice type of pencils. And then I find with these pencils, I gotta sharpen it with a different sharpener to try to be gentle with them because they break really easily. That's my only complaint about Black Widows is they're beautiful pencils, but they don't hold up very well to the sharpeners. Alright, so then I'm just going to shade in lightly all these shapes, like a hexagon kind of thing, that are labeled number 2. And then where it ends, try to give it a bit of a line, like so, and then just shade it in. That way I can get a little bit of color happening. So that's step 1 for me. Step 2 is go over the edges, a little darker, and then towards the center, a little lighter, like so. And then the advantage of this is being able to turn the page any which way I need to turn. And I keep doing the same thing over and over. And that's really my progress. And then of course this looks like quite a puzzle, but yes, I have peeked at what is this picture. And I'm really excited. I am not going to spoil it. And actually this sheet's big enough that I'll be working on this at home because this is a little too hard to carry around. without ruining it. And whatever this coloring book, this Color Quest coloring book, this paper is really nice. So hats off to them for designing a coloring book with some really nice paper. And this is actually, this book, my first color, no, wait, yeah? Yeah, I think this is like my first Color My Numbers book I actually picked up. Back when I started coloring some years ago. And it is my favorite. I've done some of the projects from it, but recently I did like get a night at the side. You know what? Pull out the book, enjoy it. Otherwise, it's just going to be collecting dust. And where it's on the shelf. So here we are. Okay, so I've got that shaded in. That looks pretty cool. And then I'm just going to take my white and burnish it. And there we go. So then next, do on the other side here. So I'm just going to give this a little sharpen. And of course, it's after 8. My little pup is waiting for me for a little walk time. Because walk time is 8 o'clock, but I want to jump on here. Because here's the thing, I am not coloring this entire sheet on video. Although I will be one of these days super tempted to do so. That actually would be a lot of fun. However, I highly doubt all of you would watch me for however long. I mean, this could take 12 hours, actually, this type of thing. And I just had to admit, when I first got this coloring book, I was so obsessed with it. This is back when I was working overnights. Oh my. Wow, that was like 6 years ago. Or 7 years. It's been a while. I would come home from work in the morning. Maybe sleep, maybe not. Because my partner would get up for work. At the time, he was afternoon shift. So, I would essentially wake up with him and then just color for like 8 hours and not sleep. And then still went to work pretty tired. But I really loved coloring this. Because back then I had this obsessive, I'm like, when I started something, I had to finish it. And it took me a long time to knock that habit out of me. Because it's like, just because I started something, it doesn't mean I need to finish it right then. There's plenty of time to come back to it. But old habits are still hard to break. So occasionally, especially if I'm near the end completing something. Because actually I had that round this week. I was almost finished. I was like halfway through this and I ended up just finishing it anyway. Let's show you. So, which led to, okay, what am I working on next? Which led to pull out this beauty. I love this book. I really love this book. And I'm just kind of doing a once over to try to cover as much as the toothiness of the paper, which doesn't, or there's a little bit of white showing, but at least when I burnish, you don't see it as much. Black Widows are really nice for blending. Actually, so far I've used 3 colors. The indigo color really sucks. But still cool. Alright, so I've got that. Then, as a bit of an OCD thing. I'm just going to work on the next row. Oh, and then it's 2 again. It's back to this color again. Oh my. I would love to be able to show another color, which I could, but OCD feeling, I gotta work on it. Just kind of get a bit of an outline happening, so I know where I'm going. I know you can't really see it because this paper's so long. Just don't want to ruin it. Actually, tonight we finished watching Star Wars Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi. The finale. Oh, this continues through. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, it helps to be able to identify the complete chain of these shapes falling along here. And having a really good sharpener, or a sharpener you can handle, makes a huge difference. Alright, so there's that sequence, at least kind of outlined. So then I can go back in, shade it in. Same process I've been doing, just repeatedly. I love color by numbers because it takes the guesswork out of the color. As long as I can match up to what I'm doing, all is good. And it helps to have a color by number sheet that at least these colors are pretty common to get or mix. And even this type of product doesn't even have to be colored pencils. It could be paint, could be markers, crayons. Could be watercolors. So much fun. Of course, I keep getting stuff on the table. Alright, so let me continue this along. Hopefully I can get this section done so I can at least do one section in a different color. So we can see some progression instead of just blues and blues and blues. Alright, so I've got that shaded in a little bit. I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. And then come back in. And then just work that edging to my advantage. And I know that just whacked the microphone, sorry. Might muffle it a little. That's one of the ways I can get through this. And then just keep working on it. Yeah, this is so one of my favorites. Any guesses on what this picture is yet? I think it's a little too soon in the game to make a guess. I also have another project put aside for an easier travel, which will be a Star Wars picture I'm looking forward to doing. I've selected my colors for it, but I just haven't actually worked on it yet. Just going to sharpen that pencil again. Now I can get a nice pointy tip on it. The more sharpened the pencil, the more control you have. Well, it's just like a knife, actually. The more dull the knife, the more likely you're going to hurt yourself. At least for me, this is relaxing. I could do this for hours. But cool effect though, actually, when you look at this now. Even if I only did the one side, which I'm not, but... Alright, so that, even that in itself looks pretty cool, but that's not where I want it to be. So I'm going to continue on. I love doing this. Feel free to hashtag replay and tell me what you think. On and on and on. This is awesome. I love doing this. This is cool. I gotta sharpen it again. That is so cool. I don't know if this is sky or water. Well, actually, I do know the answer, but nice blues happening. Even if my indigo blue doesn't match, but that's okay. I was trying to use what was available within my colored pencil stash. Actually, the Pentels are a full set. I haven't broken them enough, although they're getting there. Probably by the end of this project, I'll have lost a couple Pentels, so yay, I get to add new pencils to my collection. Of course, I keep getting pencil shavings and pieces of lead on here. So tomorrow is Friday. Any plans for the weekend? I know for me, I've got a full day at work tomorrow. Kind of busy right now. And my partner and I were talking about potentially doing some mini vacationing. Potentially. Maybe not this weekend, but just overall start planning ideas on what to do instead of just always being home. Even though this is a lot of fun. Oh, I hear my poodles. He's awake. He's staring at me. He's like, Mommy, We haven't gone for a walk yet. We will, Boo Boo. Alright, so that section is now complete. Except we're going to take our white and just burnish it nicely. And it helps fill in the toothy areas that's still kind of white by giving it a bit of a nice effect. Alright, there we go. So, okay, so we got that one done. I'm just going to try to brush some of it off. So that's that getting a little more filled in. Now, because we're here and I want to do one other color, that way I can introduce a fourth color to all this, hopefully. On here is 6. 6 is the moderate green, the Pentel 367. This is my regular sharpener I also use. I'm just going to give it a bit of a sharpen. This is actually a Prismacolor sharpener with blades from another store. This is a Staedtler sharpener. Okay. So, same as what we've been doing, especially when I can get this stuff off my hands. Create the outline. And go for it. So we've got 3 blues and now a green happening. I wonder what kind of picture this is. Hey, look at this way. If you guess correctly, I can send you a greeting card. That looks pretty cool. I'm just going to move my sharpener because I'm going to start moving the sheet around. But as you can see, the Black Widows do color a lot nicer than the Pentels. So out of the 3 represented brands on here, the best one so far is the Black Widow. Now the white, because I got a whole bunch of blue on that tip, because I kept using blue and blue and blue. I'm just going to sharpen it. That should be better. Then this is a Derwent pencil extender, which will fit these triangular pencils quite nicely. And then I'm just gonna shake some stuff off of that for a sec, and then come back and burnish that green, which didn't really work as well, but that's okay. There we go. So there we have it. There is progress tonight. So what we did was these, that, and that blue. So there we go. So this is, let me turn this proper way. This is the picture. If you have any guesses, I'd love to hear it. If you have any guesses how long this is going to take, probably a good 12 hours. And again, if I just spent 25 minutes just doing that, you can almost do the math. It's going to take a heck of a lot longer. Could be 20 hours, 40 hours, I don't know. Anyway, well, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to tune in next week and hashtag replay and all. This video will also be shared over to the land of YouTube, and hope you enjoy. Well, with that being said, let's have a good night, and bye for now.